All right, next drawing is armature support. We're going to learn a lot of new stuff today on armature support, and the biggest thing is that they're now curves. I'm looking at this drawing and there is a circle, well, three circles right in the middle, and then also there's partial circles. We call those arcs and circles. If you look at the center circle, there's a little arrow, a line that leads to 2 1/8 DIA. That's for diameter. And then if you look back in the middle, there's a line pointing to an arrow at this arc that says 2 1/2 R. That's 2.5 inches radius. What's the difference between radius and diameter? Radius is half of the diameter. So if I'm looking at this circle, 2 1/8 diameter, which means that the radius of this is 1 1/16. If I look at this 2.5 radius, that means the diameter of that same arc, if it were a full circle, would be 5 inches. Now, how do we draw these? Well, in your kit, you have this right here. You have a compass. And I have mine in the packaging just like yours would be. You might have taken yours out to check it out. That's fine. I'm going to open it up and I'll show you what's inside. We have the compass itself. We'll get to that in a second. We have some replacement graphite in case yours slips out and falls, or if you really wear it down. I don't think you'll wear it down in this class too much. There's also replacement metal pins. There's also a mustache sticker. You can do what you want with that. This is what we really care about. This is the compass. If I spin the center bit, it opens up and opens up. I'm also going to make sure that these little wheels are tightened, righty-tighty, because we don't want those to move on us. Arcs are measured in radius. Circles are measured in diameter. This works with radius. There's a metal point and then a graphite tip. So if I put the metal point into the paper, and you can kind of punch through the paper with this, you can drag and draw a circle like that. You could also stop halfway through and just have it be an arc. So this piece of paper right now is just going to be a sacrificial practice time. Get used to the tool. I suggest trying big arcs, small arcs, little circles, big circles. I also suggest that you practice leaning into it. You don't want to push the graphite around, you want to drag the graphite. You can also use your other finger to hold it still. So, practice this. I'm going to get another piece of paper taped up, and then we can really get going with armature support.
A few minutes later.
Alright, so my paper is taped up. I need to find the center point. How do I find the center point? 4 inches from the top, 5.5 inches from the side. Close. Okay. So that's the center point. Now I'm looking at armature support. And these are all dimensioned with center lines. That's what these are called. This is the point that I just found, the center of the drawing space. Over to here, it's symmetrical. So it's from the center to the outside. This center point is 3 inches. and then 3 inches over there as well. So I need to find these 2 points. Put 3 right on my center point, and then mark 3 inches to the left, 3 inches to the right, and that's what I need. The hardest circles to draw, especially with a compass, are small circles. So I'm going to start with those really small circles that say 1 inch diameter, 2 holes. That means that both of these are the same size. If it's 1 inch diameter, and our compass measures in radius, and radius is half of diameter, what are we going to set the compass to? We're going to set it to 1/2 of an inch. Now, how do we set a compass? I'm going to put the metal tip right on 0, then use my finger like this to turn that dial until the graphite is lined up with 1/2 of an inch. 1/2 inch radius is a 1 inch diameter. So put that point right over that center point and slowly make my way around. I don't want to rush it. I don't want that point to slip. So I'd rather take more time. And I can move over to this one. And you can poke through the paper and into the board. That's okay. That holds it still. Next, I'm going to continue with all the circles, then I'll worry about the arcs. This one is 2 1/8 diameter. I'm measuring in radius. What's 2 1/8 divided by 2? 1 1/16. 1/2 of 2 is 1. 1/2 of 1/8 is 1/16. 1 1/16 is what we're looking at. So I set it right there. Compasses are not easy to use, especially the first time you use it. So give it a couple of shots. And there we go. Now I have all 3 circles done. I'm going to work on these outside arcs. This left one and this right one. 1 3/4 are. Now it gives me the radius. So I can just measure out 1 3/4. Remember, put that metal tip at 0. Spin that dial and then wait until the graphite is at 1 3/4. Perfect. Now I already made a center point before. I'm going to find that same one. Also, I am just going to draw this outside section. Why? Well, I don't need any lines there, right? And I'd have to erase it anyway, so I'm just not going to draw it. I'm going to put it just right about the top and then come around. I'm not going to push too hard on this because I'm going to have to erase some of it. There we go. Now, before we go any further, we need to make these vertical lines. This arc needs to end right at the 12 and the 6 o'clock position, like if we were looking at a clock, 12 and 6. So I need to draw a light vertical line right here and right there. You could do the whole way, but then you'd have to erase more later on. So just a little bit. I'm going to take my hardest pencil, so my 3H, take a triangle, line it up, and just very lightly make a mark, here, mark, mark. Cool. We'll go back to those in a minute. I'm going to make this top arc and this bottom arc. What size is that arc? So 2.5 radius. Is that right? Did I do that right? Yep, 2.5. Find that same center point. Lightly draw the top section and the bottom section. You can start to see it, right? We're almost there. We're almost done. But right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're perfectly horizontal lines. So we're going to use our T-square for that. These are called tangent lines because they come right from the top of this arc, right at the 12 o'clock position, and keep going straight. So this is why we drew those vertical lines. I'm going to take, put my pencil right on that intersection, bring my T-square up to it, and then lightly drag over until I hit that. There it is. I've got everything down. Now I just need to erase. I'm going to use my brush again. You don't have to use a brush. And just clean everything up. I'm also going to lightly erase the center points. Those are now holes in my paper, so they're not going to completely go away. That's alright. Also, on this side, I only drew it lightly, so I want to go over that again. I could remeasure it on the scale, but there's a possibility that I messed up when I was on the scale. So I'm going to just put my metal bit in the point, in the hole, and adjust my compass until I'm right on that line. And it darkens it right up. Okay, title block. That's it. That's done. I can darken up these lines. Make it more solid, but now the title block. 1/2-inch border. Now, I kind of flew through this drawing because I am used to using a compass. If you've never used a compass before, you probably haven't. You might have used a compass, but not for anything this precise. That it might take you a bit longer. And that's alright. That's why I started this video out with, hey, practice using the compass. Get used to it. This is a tool that you need to be good at, good with, good at using. So it's worth putting in some practice. Next, 5/8 of an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to draw this horizontal line. I'm not going to put in any guidelines for my text yet, because I said I'd show you guys a trick, and I will. 2 inches. Two and a half. And 2. You are also not expected to know all these dimensions off the top of your head for your title block. So, don't be afraid to look at that sheet with all the dimensions on it. Alright, once you've got to this point, we can keep going. If you haven't gotten to this point yet, pause my video. Alright, welcome back. I'm going to untape just the bottom of this. Make sure you leave the top. Then, you need this piece of paper.
Flashback.
Okay, here's how to make the trick. I've got a piece of paper and I only tape the top two, but it's taped down square. I'm going to measure out and mark every 1/8 of an inch. I don't have to worry about the border right now. Let's see why it's that. Actually, what I'm going to do is draw that line. And I want to draw this dark. So I'm using my F pencil. I'm going over it twice. I'm pushing down to make sure that it's dark. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got enough, and that's it. This now is to help you with your title block. All right, back to the video.
End of flashback.
Now this only works if you drew these lines really, really dark. And it might not show up on video. So you'll have to do it, and trust me. If you, oh yeah, this isn't gonna show up on video for sure. You take your template that you made and line up the lines underneath the lines on top, and then tape it back down. And I'm taping the two of them so they don't move. Now I can look through. Again, this probably won't show up on video, so you're gonna have to try this to understand it. I can look through and now go through and write every single thing I need to. Where's my sheet? So, looking through, keeping in between the lines, approved. Grade. Design technology. Now again, this is, even though there's no guidelines on here, you have to keep it within that 1/8 inch line. So this is just a trick. If you want to draw those guidelines in, you can, but it looks better without them. And also those are hard to erase, so this might help you out a lot. This is just like when you were learning handwriting back in elementary school, where you have to keep it inside the lines. You're at Oakmont Reg High School. Part name. What's the part name? It's underneath that drawing and it says Armature Support. Ooh, that got close. Might want to start part name all the way to the left if you can. Drawn by Mr. Jones. Scale. Yikes. It's full. Add the date. And this is drawing number 3. And that's it. This is armature support. We learned a lot today. We went over arcs and circles and the differences between them. Arcs is only part of a circle is the full thing. Arcs are measured in radius, circles are measured in diameter. Using a compass is tricky. It's important to practice it. And you always set the compass to the radius of whatever you are drawing. So if you're drawing an arc, then you set it to the dimension that's given to you because it's already measured in radius. If you're drawing a circle, you need to find half of the diameter that they give you, and that will be the radius that you set your compass to. If you have any questions, join the Google Meet. Let me know. Good luck. I am here to help. I get paid by the question. You got this.